Racism. Why? Why does this matter? Everybody has a story. It's not just one group or race of people. It's everybody. Why? Who are you?
I am an actress, first and foremost, always.
Artist.
Or
Mexican, Muslim,
Colombian,
daughter,
chicken consultant,
Christian,
Midwesterner.
mother figure,
student,
Director.
born in El Salvador,
Medical student.
Woman of 60.
Pakistani.
Have you ever encountered racism?
yes.
Yes, I have.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Nothing sticks out.
Yes.
Yes, I have quite a few times, I think.
I just wanted people to share their stories. You might find out something different.
I never really had that racism directed at me until I fell in love with a man who's Korean. He's a firstborn Korean son. And I had been told that Koreans marry Koreans. And he and I had talked about getting married. This was when I was 30, so I'm starting to see the marriage possibilities kind of going down.
Oh, okay.
And he ended up just cutting off all ties. His Korean mother wanted her firstborn Korean son to marry a Korean woman. Nothing I could have done would have changed anything.
Where I was born in the South, and I still have scars left. Those scars would never go away.
I grew up in a suburb for my preteens and my teenage years, and they would always sell lemonade on the corner. So one day, my sister and I decided, we want to make a little money too, and we set up a lemonade stand, and we started selling lemonade, and the police got called on us, and they told us we had to close shop. We were 12 and 10. That never happened to any of the other white girls in the neighborhood.
I transferred to a predominantly white high school, and people would ask me questions like, are you in the gang? Have you ever been shot at? Things of that nature.
In classrooms, why am I sitting in a classroom right now reminding a professor that, no, I can't speak for every black person in the world. Please don't ask me.
I mean, you're just assuming because I'm black, maybe because of the way I'm dressed, I don't have the money, so to me you're saying that I just came to rob you, and that's not so.
Some of the people on the sidewalk would walk around me or not look me in the eye.
Someone on the bus had stuck their head out and they said, what is the difference between an apple and a black person? Well, the answer is that there is no difference. They're both hung from trees.
My husband, he was coming from a party, and the police pulled up on him. And the first thing he did was throw his arms up in the air. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me.
I grew up in the south side of Chicago, and when I was 13 years old, we moved from our neighborhood to a suburb, a south suburb, and quite frankly, the reason we moved was what they call the white flight. It was, the African Americans were moving into our neighborhoods, and, there was a perception that it might not be safe because of them moving in, so most of the whites picked up and left and moved out, and we were one of them.
I know I look kind of intimidated sometimes, but inside I'm a teddy bear.
I needed to take a math course, and math is not my best subject. I spoke with some of the other black students there, and this was primarily a white school at that time, and they told me, do not take this professor's course. He does not like black students. He does not like black people. No black person has ever passed this class. And I said, well, I need this course and I'm going to take it. I learned everything. It was easy. It was understandable. I overlearned. And I got an A for the first marking period. I got an A for the second marking period. I got an A for the third marking period. When I got my grade, I had a D.
And I didn't want it just to be people of color, because people of color have experienced racism. We got that. But what about people that are not of color? They've experienced racism too.
I think there are just certain things that people associate with the basic white girl.
There have been people who don't want to be friends with me because I'm white.
I was hearing all these comments from other athletes, families of athletes, like in the crowds, all being like, white boy, what are you doing in that race? Like, you're not going to win.
Oh, you don't dance like a white girl.
Maybe we should get some Mexicans to put this together.
People be like, oh, what's that? Like, what are you eating? They're like, is that dog or something like that?
So they're like, do you have to get an A? I'm like, no, I want to get an A.
On my AP calculus class, I did extremely well, and a professor asked me if I was Chinese because I had done so well, even though, to me, I think I look like a Hispanic person and I represent that. So to make the assumption and not correlate academic success with a Hispanic student was really disappointing.
I have my Asian identity, or my Asian side of me come out less when I'm initially meeting someone.
When I make friends, I have to be aware, and you kind of dampen your culture when you're around other people.
A big thing is that, Hispanics don't pay taxes, or at least illegal Hispanics don't pay taxes, and, once you start to talk to people in that situation, you realize how ignorant, like myself, I was.
I was adopted into a Caucasian family. I think I was maybe 5, and some other kid that I was playing with said you don't look anything like your family, and I was like, oh well, I'm not from this country, I'm from El Salvador. And he was like, oh no, that's not a real country, that's made up, you're not from here, you're from some other planet or something. And to a 5-6-year-old, I just remember running away in tears.
Whenever I wore my hijab to school, they would ask me million questions. Some of the kids would make fun of me behind my back. If there's a mass shooting, you automatically think it's a Muslim when it's not a Muslim.
At least 6 of 7 times that I've been to an airport, I have been separated and gone into a separate line. Never random, never a random searching, but I've always been sent to a more powerful scanner where you would have to stand in front of it with your arms and legs spread apart.
People these days are, they're all afraid of Muslims, right, because of the terrorism thing. Well, you know what? I mean, yeah, sure, you see that on the news, but as a race, they're not all bad. It's silly to think otherwise.
When the whole Osama bin Laden thing happened, I got a lot of flack for that. There's actually this one post that somebody put on my Facebook wall. It said, hey, I heard they got your uncle. And then that actually got a lot of traction on social media. It had 100 likes or something like that within an hour of him posting it on my wall.
From what I gather, when we say racism, we tend to look at black versus white. That, I have to say, I have not blatantly experienced. However, I have experienced a bit of judgments based on one's race within my own race.
Somebody said I sound white because I was trying to get the class to calm down.
One thing I always heard was, you sound like a white girl.
I talk very proper, so a lot of times they say you talk white.
I'm not black enough because I didn't grow up a certain way, or I didn't see a certain movie. I didn't see all the black movies, so I don't have my black card.
Just a couple of years ago when I started teaching in high schools on the south side of Chicago, predominantly black kids, like I've said before, they look at me and they go, oh, you high yellow. You think you this, you must live on this side of town because you real light skinned. And I'm just like, what?
My junior year in high school, there was a dance, and I wanted to bring my friend. She was just my friend, and she was black. She was from, that I knew when I was younger. And I told these guys in the track team who were black that I was bringing this girl. And they're like, oh, you're bringing a black girl to the dance. What's her name? And I was like, her name's Maddie. And they're like, Maddie? That's not a black girl name.
So, with the black and white racism, I expect it, but from other black people, it shocks me.
There are a lot of systems set in place that are steeped or permeating in racism. Our legal system, our political system, our law enforcement, there's so many things that need to be broken down and fixed.
And so there's a weird popular idea that if we just destroy the system and build a new one, then it'd be fixed. But the systems are made up of people, and systems are produced out of people's hearts. So if we don't change people's hearts, you just reproduce the same systems over and over and over again.
I would say a lot of it comes from the media. And I say the media because I think that's one of the most easiest things to have access to. I mean, you have it on your phones, you got computers, everybody has a TV, somebody's blasting their opinions somewhere.
People on Facebook, they post a lot of things and they'll get into arguments and they'll say things. I've been really surprised by people that I was really good friends with, and they've said really hurtful things about the undocumented population, the Muslim population, really just nasty things that you didn't hear before, and people now feel like it's okay.
So if you haven't had any actual opportunity to experience these things, all that you really know about them is what you've heard.
I think once you experience the reality of the situation and you become more in contact with whatever race, Asian, Indian, African American, I think you get an appreciation that, for the most part, we're all just people.
And we can't erase racism. That's not going to happen. You're wearing your color of your skin, your nationality, your background, your family genes, everything. You're wearing them every day in your life. But just to be a little bit more aware that deep down inside, everybody is just a human.
If anything, just open your eyes to the fact that we all make mistakes. We all can be on the wrong side of an issue.
You can't look back on your past. You have to look forward in order to be able to make it in this world today.
Become part of somebody else's world for a while.
Families are made up of all different kinds of ways and all different kinds of people.
Approach people with respect.
Listen more. I think people don't listen that much these days.
We all want to be heard and to be loved, and we can be that for each other.
Race is just a word.
People are just people, and there's good and bad in all races and all kinds.
Whatever your race, if you're determined, you can achieve those goals.